Well, hello everybody, this is Jason Wink, and just wanted to shoot a quick video for you for a little tool I put together for advisors. For those of you who are not in our MM1 method training, this might seem a little bit new. I suppose that's all right. This is something we put together really for people in MM1, but I've been working a lot with frameworks, and I've shared some of that on the general blog here. But I thought I'd give this one out just as a freebie to help all financial advisors out. I think we're in a really unique time right now that there's a lot of reasons for investors to be concerned, and when they're concerned, a lot of times they're more action oriented. So what this is a simple framework for building presentations. These could either be like a seminar that you give, or it could be a webinar that you give, or it could be a video that you make and put online. In any event, I believe that it's always wise when you build a project out like that you have a good solid framework for doing so. In fact, I'm going to attach onto this post another PDF too that relates to how Steve Jobs would go about building his presentations for Apple. Since he just recently resigned, I thought that might be kind of timely with something a client passed along to me. So here's basically how this works. It's pretty simple. Just walks you through 6 steps that you need to take in order to both build out a really good presentation but also deliver a good presentation. So it starts out just plug in your title at the top. Then you're going to go through, and I've always believed that you should have this sort of fill in the blank introduction. So it goes pretty simple. Hello, my name is Jason, and I'm name what you do here with company there. So pretty basic. You want to keep this very simple. Then I help, put in a specific type of person, right there. So maybe it's, I help, firemen who've recently retired turn their portfolio into a dependable stream of income that they can't outlive and do so with minimal amounts of risk. So I help so-and-so with such and such, so to speak. So I help firemen with, recently retired with building a dependable stream of income. So you probably get the idea there. So they can, and this is the ultimate sort of goal, the end result. So they can enjoy retirement, be active, enjoy their family, and make an impact in their community, doing what's truly important, not having to worry about money, something like that. But this whole introduction right here, when you state it, or if you put it onto a slide, is literally like a 30 to 45 second little intro, and it's just designed to be the basic introduction, not your in-depth one. And step 2 is you always need to identify the common concerns of this target market here. So this is the target market area up there. What are their common concerns? So you might say, hey, if you're like many people, if you're speaking to people or companies, I put in there, again, in the event you're speaking with companies I work with, you're probably concerned about, and you want to keep this short. I prefer 3, and the irony of this is I wrote this before I read the Steve Jobs framework. He always does things in 3s. It's just easier for people to sort of digest that information. If you have this huge laundry list of things to do, then in a presentation format, people can get lost and confused. So try to keep it simple. So maybe they're concerned about the possibility that their state budget could get out of control and their pension could be lost. Maybe you're concerned about the volatility in the market, making it very unpredictable to take portfolio income. Maybe you're concerned about the really low interest rates and when will they go up and how difficult that makes retirement. But again, what are the common concerns? You should know that, obviously, if you're going to be giving a presentation to a specific group of people. Okay? After you identify those concerns, you have to empathize with them. So you say, me too. Then you move on to step 3. Step 3 is your personal story addressing or overcoming those concerns. So you want to make sure in this process you're identifying really the key facts regarding those concerns. The personal story basically is you saying, hey, after you say, yeah, me too. In fact, here's my story about, really digging into these specific areas of concern and some of the very simple things I found you can do to overcome them and actually profit despite these very specific concerns. Okay, so when I say specific concerns, I just have to insert whatever the concerns are. And when you share that story, hopefully it's, again, an endearing personal story about sort of your struggle with, wrestling with these different areas of concern, all the research that you did, the facts that you found, and these should be sometimes a little bit disturbing. And so then you share those facts that you found. So when you make a general statement, you have to validate those with the facts. After you do that, you then make the statement, hey, I made it my personal mission to research ways successful investors were not only overcoming these issues, but actually profiting from them. And what I learned was shockingly simple yet profound. So again, you want to make sure they know that, hey, I found something that's really simple, but it works really, really well. And then you say, today I'm going to be sharing with you a insert number of step framework that you can use right now to do the same. So again, you might use 3 again, you might use 4, but again, keep it short, simple, and sweet, because you're going to tell them that it's shockingly simple. Number 4 is when you deliver your framework. So here's where you say, to make it simple for investors to take action and get results, I've boiled down a solution to just, let's say, 3 simple steps, okay? And when you do that, you're just going to, again, outline those steps. When you do that, of course, you have to give some validation. So if you're giving a presentation, maybe you have like 1 or 2 slides per step. But again, keep it very simple so they realize that, again, okay, I've just got to follow these steps and I'll be all set. Now, after you do that, you have to say, okay, I have a few warnings, though, and some very common mistakes people make when they try to implement these steps, and you don't want to do that. In fact, I wrote it right here. You need to be careful. If you don't follow the steps with precision, you can actually harm yourself more than if you did nothing at all. So watch out for these common mistakes, and then list the common mistakes people might run into if they're trying to implement these steps on their own or without a qualified advisor. All right? Pretty simple. Step 6 is your call to action. Now, once you've delivered your presentation, you need to make a statement like this. Again, just paraphrase it if you want to. You have to say, hey, in order to get benefit from this presentation, here's kind of what we've covered so far. We've covered that there's these big areas of concern. I know that there's some simple solutions. I've outlined those. I gave you some warnings. At the end of the day, knowledge without implementation is foolishness. So here's what you need to do right now. So you always finish every presentation that you make with an immediate call to action. So I've put together a special offer exclusively for those who've attended this event. With the help of my colleagues, we put together a program called, this can be something where you deliver a program, a service report. Essentially, this can be like a sales meeting or a second opinion or a free consultation, but never call it that. You need to have a name for your program, service, or special report. Now keep in mind, it's kind of like this. I call this the presentation framework. So you could say, hey, I've put together something called the presentation framework. Let me explain what this will do for you, how it works, and how you can get it for no cost or obligation. The whole idea here, when you make a call to action, is it has to be an irresistible offer. Something that there's almost no way anybody in their right mind would say no to. So give it a unique name so it's different than everything everyone else is doing, and then say, let me explain what this will do for you, how it works, and how you can get it for no cost or obligation. So then you go on to say, so here's what this will do for you. Excuse me, shut my phone off there, it's ringing. And then you just list it. So it can be 2, 3, 4 things, but you list, here's what it does. Here's what the actual benefit, in other words, is for you. Steve Jobs is really famous kind of for doing this. Instead of saying, a really super long technical explanation of something, he might just say, like an example, when he introduced the MacBook Air, the really thin MacBook, he simply said, it's the thinnest, lightest, most transportable laptop ever made. So that's what the benefit is for the prospect. He didn't go on to say that, 10,000 different technical specs on it. Simply showed a picture of how little it was, and it could fit into a manila folder. Pretty slick. But anyway, make it simple. Here's what this will do for you. Then you say, in order for us to prepare this, whatever it is, special program, we simply need the following information. And we keep this in 100% confidence, of course, so it will not be shared or anything with anyone. And of course, that's got to be very simple. It's got to be short and easy to do. So it's not like they have to jump through, flaming hoops over a, pit of piranhas and then, scale a mountain to get this. They've got to be able to just take some very simple action and bam, that's how they get the report. Lastly, you have to qualify them. So you say, to qualify for this, you also have to meet the following criteria. So you're taking it away a little bit. Here's how great it is. Here's how easy it is to get. However, this is what you need to, how you have to qualify for it. So maybe it's a certain asset minimum. I always like to put you have to be action oriented because I'm not interested in wasting my time or babysitting. If you know what you're going to, if you know there's a major benefit from doing something different, doesn't mean you have to change anything through me, of course. But I really want to make sure that I'm helping people who will help themselves. But anyway, some simple little qualification criteria. And then lastly, in order to get this, just take these steps today. Click on this button and fill out a form, or fill out this evaluation form at my seminar, turn it in, make sure your name and phone number's on there, check off a day and time that generally works for you. You get the idea. Then all you do is you thank your guests and you're on your way. And that is it, my friends. That's a presentation framework worksheet. I hope this is going to help everybody a bunch. And of course, if you have questions, comments, things like that, there's a spot on the blog. You can leave those. Hope everybody gets a ton of benefit and has a wonderful rest of their week.